There is hardly a dog owner who has not at some point found out the awful truth. Dogs can pull with the strength of wild horses. The act of attaching a dog to your wrist and going for a walk is enough to make the bravest of dog owners shudder. Taking a wild and crazy dog and teaching him to walk politely in public does not have to be a struggle. The difference between this and this is a matter of a little horse sense and a little ancient technology. If you've ever been around horses, you'll recognize the technology. Instead of using a collar and leash, the best tool for controlling a wild horse is a halter, and for dogs, the solution is exactly the same. It is to try to encourage the dog to walk short distances, using clicks and treats to reinforce any voluntary walking. This is at the far end of using a head collar. If you find yourself using this much force, drop your standards and go back to reinforcing short little distances. You can see that in only a few repetitions, Tug is starting to get the hang of this. The struggling with the halter is starting to fade, and the periods of correct walking are increasing. A couple of short walks with the head collar, with clicks and treats for correct behavior, and Tug will become accustomed to the collar. Over a few walking sessions, most dogs actually get excited whenever they see the halter. Sight for recreational dog walkers. Because the dogs are instinctively driven to investigate each other, the handlers are barely able to hold them back. Cody's normal behavior in this type of situation is to investigate for a while and then offer some form of aggression, often because he's intimidated by the other dog. Now we have put Cody on his halter to make sure that any aggression can be easily controlled. Cody has a history of aggressive behavior with other dogs. He often reacts violently when confronted by a strange dog in public. To fix this problem, we start with teaching him to walk correctly on the halter. You will notice that Cody's style of adapting to the halter is a little different than Tug's, but the result is ultimately the same. Many dogs try to lift a paw in an effort to remove the nose loop. There are ways to correct this. The first is to stop and gently lift the dog's paw from the leash. The second is to watch closely and give a gentle pull upward and then a quick release at the instant the dog starts to raise its paw. The third way is to simply keep walking. If you pause as the dog starts to paw at the nose loop, he will be able to balance on his hind legs and use both paws to do the job. If you keep him walking, he is forced to use his front legs for balance. The reaction your dog gives will determine which of these three ways is best for you. Remember to use clicks and treats for correct walking to cut down on the corrections you must give. Leaping in the air is another common reaction. This is another area where continuing to walk while using clicks and treats is the best solution. This is a common